I have no idea what my doctors or my clinic are thinking, but they have gone back to wearing masks. So, because there's the flu and there's the COVID coming out almost at the same time. So, it's very hard to tell which one is which. So, it might help them to reduce a little bit the contagion. They want to remain uh, present, to the patients, but the issue is the people with hearing impairments. It just drives us crazy. So I don't know how you handle your appointments, or when the doctor comes in or the nurse comes in, they're talking really fast or they're talking really soft, or what the issue is, and on top of that they have a mask on. So when I'm with someone else, I just kind of let that person translate for me. But if I'm by myself, I tell them right away when they come in, I'm hearing impaired, please face me, or speak a little bit louder because I have cochlear implants bilateral, and I am really hearing impaired. So so if we want this conversation to flow, if you turn away from me or you go and wash your hands, or it's just not going to work. So I let them know right away. Sometimes I forget, and it's like in the middle of the conversation I didn't understand a thing they were saying. I'm like, oops, I forgot to tell them. So what I would really like my top of the list hope would be that on the file itself, on the top of the file, when they open it, it says patient hearing impaired, please face them. Something simple like that. And I have failed. I need to reach out to the people who manage the software, because that would tell them right away, okay, I need to do XYZ so this patient understands me. A lot of times I'm with someone else, so they, when I get stuck where I'm looking at the doctor kind of weird, the other person translates for me. They're asking blah, blah, blah. So that kind of keeps things going. But sometimes they blah, 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 and they're asking my date of birth, or blah, blah, blah. They're asking my last name or the spelling of my last name. So it is frustrating, but I think that if I did this all the time, doc, or to the nurse or to the PA, just be aware that I am hearing impaired. If you keep on facing the computer, I am not going to understand a thing that you say. So I think that in our doctor appointments, it's going to be really important for us to say something up front, because it's not written on our file. When we used to use paper files, I used to I used to put right up front, patient is hearing impaired, please face her. So but they don't use paper files anymore, so it's all electronic, which in a way is good, but I want the software people who are in the background to somehow put a note. Any doctor who opens my file, any nurse, any PA, that it would say up top, up front, patient hearing impaired, please face her, speak a little bit louder. I don't see that that's hard, because there are many, many people in the clinics and in the hospital that I go to that are just like me, that have hearing loss. It's very common. So would that help? Yes. Will I be successful? I don't know. So that's one of the things I spoke in one of my other videos about, speaking to the people who handle the software, for them to somehow put, patient is blind, or patient is partially blind, or patient is hearing impaired, or, anything that would have to push the nurse or the doctor to change their behavior, change the way they speak to the person they have in front of them. So, patient speaks Russian, or a patient, doesn't speak English, or a patient has, a low English vocabulary, something that would alert them of their behavior and what is needed to really engage with that patient. So, so we are asking something pretty big to alter their software, to alter what is seen when a doctor or a nurse comes in and opens a file. So that is pretty big, but will it function? Will they listen to us? I don't know. They might leave it on our lap to have to say to every single doctor, every single nurse, I am hearing impaired, and if you don't look at me, and on top of that, you're wearing a mask. So I'm not contagious, but I am hearing impaired, and that is not contagious. So, so yes, that is going to be an important aspect of our behavior. In the meantime, can we convince the people who are handling the software, have something pop up that says, because they don't have time to review the whole file, to review all the diagnosis. Some of you might be really simple in terms of diagnosis, but mine is a little complicated because it's neurological, and there's a couple of different symptoms and a couple of different, diagnoses that they have in there for my neurological conditions. So on top of that, there's a long list, and then like at the bottom, it says, cochlear implants, bilateral, hearing impaired at the bottom. So they don't have time to go through all that. They really don't. So what kind of changes for us, can we do? Can you set up for yourself a project? Well, I'm going to contact the person on the master on the website to see if they can talk to the team, talk to whoever, get permission to put that on our chart and discuss, can you put this on my chart? A patient losing their vision, or a patient, so that they're alert of the sensitivity. Is it a sensitivity for some of us? It is, and we don't want the doctor to know. But that, that is going to cause another problem. That if we don't want anybody to know, the issue is we're going to miss important things in our medical appointments, really important things. And, you cannot remember what you did not hear. I'm going to say that again. You cannot remember what you did not hear. So are we going to be enthusiastic if we're going to be punctual at saying, Doc, I didn't hear that? Can you repeat that? Are we going to have enough energy to do that every single time that we didn't hear it? And is the doctor going to get annoyed because all of a sudden he's having to repeat all these things? But if the doctor knows right away, face the patient, speak a little bit louder because they're wearing a mask, that might work better. It's going to be less stressful for you and less stressful for the doctor, who has to give you, updates, instructions, and everything else. Ask you questions, to see how you're doing with your condition. So we have to figure this out, folks. What is the best for you? To let the nurse or the doctor know right away? To bring in a piece of paper that says in big letters, hearing impaired, please face me, and speak a little bit louder, and put it on their desk? Which I could decide to do. And I might try that. And just bring a slip every single time that says, hearing impaired, please face me and speak a little bit louder. You're using a mask. So, and discuss that right off the bat. So that's one way. a piece of paper, a big slip, big words on there to also, and probably today I'm going to send an email to the headmaster, the webmaster, can you discuss this and figure this out, so it pops up for all providers on their screen, so I don't have to keep on repeating this over and over, because, on XYZ screen or XYZ provider, they're not going to have patience to go all the way down to the bottom and see, oh, hearing aids, oh, cochlear implants, oh, the person is deaf, oh, my interpreter didn't come. So, they have the responsibility. The institution has the responsibility to schedule the interpreter. They are, not you. So I just want to let you, if you use sign language interpreters, the institution is responsible for hiring the interpreter. So if you didn't know that, ta-da! Yeah, when you're setting up your appointment, just say, please set up an interpreter. And they know that already. They know it's the law. They know they're responsible for that. But if you're going to fork out money for that, then they won't say anything. Of course not. So, but usually I'm with somebody, so they repeat things for me. So yeah. But I think I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to bring in a slip every single time on the desk. So, second thing I'm going to do is, and I'll tell you how that goes, is the webmaster, I'm going to send them a note and let them know, hey, I want this to happen in your software when any provider opens my file, because I'm tired of repeating to them, I'm hearing impaired. Really tired. So I'll see how that goes. They might say, no, it wasn't approved. It was approved. And I'll let you know how it goes. That's more complicated than just bringing in a slip of paper. Will I remember verbally every single time to tell the doctors or providers that I am hearing impaired and that I need them to face me and speak a little bit louder so I can understand what the heck they're saying? So that's it, folks. It's really, really not very complicated to have an agreement with your doctors. If you have a primary care doctor, they usually, know you by now. So my primary knows me quite well. So she really faces me, takes out the distractions, because I do have a nurse sometimes that comes with me. So she has a nurse sitting way over there in the corner for a variety of reasons. But also so I can see her face. So she sits a little bit away from the computer, so I can see her, and there's no obstacle for her voice, towards me. So she knows this, and so it's an automatic. So for a doctor who knows you well, no problem. But for all the other providers that I see, it's a problem, because usually there's a new person there every single time. So we'll see. I don't know about you or some other ideas that you might have to be able to handle your medical appointments that are so annoying because now they've gone back to wearing masks. And maybe in your clinic they haven't, but in mine they have. And so we're back to the same problem. So we'll see. Anyway, think about it. Put down put down if you have any other ideas or what is going well for you in your appointments, and put out some ideas there. I'm just saying either a slip or talk to the webmaster to see if they can have some notice that pops up. Person is hearing impaired, please face them, And I think it's possible, no issue. Because the doctors don't have patience and they're not going to go down all the way down at the bottom of the list to see, oh, person is hearing impaired. they have cochlear implants. So anyway, please share your thoughts. Please share your experiences. And let's see if we can improve our medical appointments. Thank you so much for coming and spending your time here. You could have been anywhere else, but you came to listen to my yapping here about medical appointments. So if this video was helpful, awesome, great. Please think of subscribing, which is completely free. Make comments and share. Your comments will help other people as they go through their hearing loss. So don't think that your thoughts or your experiences are not worth it, because they are very much. So thank you again, and I'll see you in the next one.